All right, we're officially recording now, so we can test 1 2 1 2. We're gonna
check 1 2 1 2.
Bring the microphone down, please.
Oh God. There. Ow. Okay. I'm gonna turn myself down on the headset.
Check 1 2. Can you hear me now? Check 1 2. Yeah, do kind of a little bit louder than your normal voice, so I can.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Try it again.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Okay. There we go. That puts us right in the middle.
What, right in the middle, yellow?
Yeah, right in the middle of the yellow is where we're.
Wait. Okay. Yep. Now I see it.
Yep. Now you see it. Now you see it. Now you don't. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one and a frustrating one at the same time.
You're gonna get me mad, and then we're gonna go out, and I'm gonna get all happy. That just sounds wrong.
You're gonna yell happy. Man, I'm glad
we're going to the movies.
I'm going. I'm going to clip that. I'm telling you right now.
We're not even showing on video yet.
We're not showing video, but that audio I'm clipping. Okay.
That's gonna be in a highlight.
You're gonna get me mad, and then I'm gonna yell happy. It's like what? What kind of crack are you smoking? What kind of crack are you smoking?
The good kind, apparently.
You're something else.
We know this.
I swear. This is going to be a frustrating episode.
Yep. Definitely.
All right, so I'm going to let you do the intro.
Oh, of course you like to do this.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do the intro. I will start the conversation with this one because you know this one's gonna help people out.
Oh, yikes. You might want to hit transition.
Yeah. Oh, I am.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Spidercast Podcast, the podcast where a father and son go down the rabbit hole talking tech, gaming, and sometimes the meaning of life. Today, we are going over the video games and fate of Gamestop, the E3 leaking personal information, and Ninja leaving Twitch.
Yep, and we're gonna preface this very early in the episode. If you're sensitive to the things that have been going on here lately, especially with the shootings, we are going to slightly discuss that matter.
And El Paso and Dayton, Ohio.
Yep, because one of those did happen. We live about an hour away from Dayton, Ohio.
Actually, I don't think I was that far away from it this weekend because I was up in Troy.
Yeah,
I was south of Dayton.
Yeah, so you weren't too far from it. So yeah, we're gonna discuss a little bit of our feelings, and it will be video game related, but it is political in some fashion. Now, normally, we do say that we don't do political stuff on this podcast unless it's relevant to video games, and in this case, it is. But like I said, I'm sure this is going to be sensitive to certain people, so we're just gonna giving everybody a fair warning before we have this discussion.
Oh, I went on rage yesterday on social media.
I'm kind of like Doc. I'm trying to avoid social media in that.
It was only on Snapchat, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid it because it's a shitstorm right now, and people are just not being properly considerate of other people's feelings. We're gonna try to be as light of this as we can with respect of still giving our opinions. Like I said, I knew this was going to be a hot button topic, but it was relevant to video games, so it was something we wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. The interesting one, though, I think is going to be also the E3 leaking personal information.
Also, why Ninja left Twitch?
And Ninja leaving Twitch. That's gonna. So we're gonna
got a big payoff.
We're gonna start out heavy and pretty.
Get more lighthearted as
and that's gonna get a little lighthearted towards the end. So
we start out heavy. It's light hearts, heavy again, light hearts.
Yeah, something like that. So we like to drink soda on this podcast. If you're watching live or even listening, we like our sodas. We're soda people. soda or pop. You will hear us reference both depending on the conversation.
But usually never soda pop.
Yeah, and usually you won't hear the two in the same thing. Man,
It's because it's frosted over. But we are drinking Mountain Dew, which they're doing the United States of Dew right now, and we have the Ohio one because that's where we are located.
Yes, we're from Ohio. Actually, we're from Columbus, basically Columbus, Ohio. We're on the south side, but yeah, they're doing the special, and each one has a slightly. At first I thought they were the same logo, but
no,
they are slightly different.
I proved them wrong, and it's all different kind of designs to show what the city has to kind of offer.
I still don't know what this thing is with.
I don't know what the hippo.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe the zoo. That might.
You know what?
It.
That might be that. Yeah, you're right. That might be it.
Yeah, further. There
we go. It kind of looked like an ugly fruit with glasses, but now I see the hippo when you.
Yeah, that might be for the zoo. Of course, the good concerts that we have here in Ohio.
Yeah,
with the Great Summer Smokeout and.
Yeah, if you're a music fan and you're looking for a town to move to in the Northeast, Columbus, Ohio is probably Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati have
some
probably
of the most growing populations.
Not only is there a reasonable amount of jobs in these areas, but we have. If you're a beer person, this is like 100. I think we got 150 microbreweries in the Central Ohio area or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I think that's close to the number.
We have lots, like I said, lots of local brews, lots of bars, lots of we have sports teams.
Well, we have some of the better. We have a good college team.
Yep,
we have
we got a pretty decent hockey team. We got a decent
I don't know about the okay, Browns had a decent season last season.
We won't talk Bengals and Browns. That's I'm not getting too hateful conversations.
Browns had a decent season last season. So I don't want to hear it.
But we got baseball, football, basketball, soccer.
Yeah, we have a lot of good teams.
Yeah, I mean we got
sports. I mean, I don't know what it is with
all
the
kinds of
pig here, but
yeah, we got all kinds of music venues. If you've never been to the Columbus Zoo, if you live within a couple of states of Ohio and you're looking for something cool to do with your family, go to the Columbus Zoo. The kids will love it. It's huge. It's very difficult. It is very, very, very difficult to walk in one day. Even power walking, it's very difficult. The place should have mile markers. That's how large this place is. In fact, it's one of the bigger ones in the country. I don't think we haven't checked the Atlanta one when we were down. That's probably something if we ever make that trip.
Yeah, no, we haven't hit that one.
We haven't hit the Atlanta Zoo, but we've hit a few different zoos over the years, and we haven't found one anywhere close. Like Cincinnati is a joke compared to Columbus.
Everyone says Cincinnati's great, but you go to Columbus and it just outshines it.
Yeah, there were things you will never see in a lot of other zoos, and if you ever seen
there's a lot of like rare animals at the zoo, at the Columbus Zoo.
If you've ever seen Jack Hanna, and Jack Hanna's been on every cable TV station on the planet. He's been on the Today Show. He's kind of the matriarch of the Columbus Zoo. That's his home base, if you will, and yeah, it's an amazing thing. And like I said, we've got so much. I mean, there's very rarely ever a band that doesn't do a tour in Columbus, Cleveland, or Cincinnati. And Cleveland's like 2.5 hours away. Cincinnati's about an hour and a quarter, depending on which side. So yeah, it's Ohio is a kind of a cool place to be, especially if you don't mind the weather. That's really probably the worst part of Ohio is the weather.
But again, we always say as we live in Ohio, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely one of those places that. What is the? I guess you could call it schizophrenic. There's schizophrenic
personality.
Our weather is really weird. Like we have
Mother Nature doesn't bipolar.
Bipolar. There you go.
Mother Nature's bipolar with Ohio. She doesn't like us sometimes. Sometimes she loves us. Yeah. Other times she just wants us to die.
Yeah. Certain times of the year, like in the course of 7 days, we can have rain, snow, 90-degree weather. what was it? We had rain, hail, lightning. We had snow,
tornadoes,
like 89 degrees. I think it was at the tail end of that week. Yeah, we had tornado. I mean, literally.
Yeah, we literally had all 4 seasons in one.
Yeah, in one
in 1 week.
It literally started like middle of one week and ended by the middle of the other week. It was
it started out with snow, and we literally went spring, fall, summer.
So
it was weird. It's something you won't see really anywhere else happen.
Oh, excuse me.
But that's just Ohio for you.
Yeah. Excuse me. Damn. If you're an allergy person, though, stay away from Ohio because
the pollen will kill you.
Yeah, the pollen will absolutely kill you. There's that one video that shows that pine tree that falls, and you can just the tree starts falling, and the pollen kind of stays there and follows and trails the tree. And Doc always says, he's like, that makes me have hives just looking at it. So
the pollen will try to kill you. Sometimes the grass will, depending on your allergies.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely do get 4 seasons. More like 6
Ohio
seasons.
is actually a really great place to be.
It is they talk about being the heart of it all, but we have just a little bit of everything. Food wise, we got everything.
Oh yeah, there's you go to Easton Center and there's a little bit of everything just there.
I mean, the thing is, like, it is such a hodgepodge. It's kind of like New York in a certain way. You have such a hodgepodge of different ethnicities and just a variety of food. I mean, you got German, you got Mexican. We actually have pretty decent Mexican. Now, I've never been to Texas, so I want to do Texas Mexican sometime. But
yeah,
frankly, we do have some pretty good Mexican places. We have taco trucks. We got actually the food truck thing is just going bonkers here in Columbus right now.
The food trucks here are actually really good. I don't know about a lot of other places, but I've heard some are like horrible. Every single one I've been to here in Columbus has been like really good.
We haven't had. I will say I've never had a bad food truck.
There's been interesting ones.
I will say I've had ones that, like, I didn't think the what they were offering was worth the money, like even a sort of a understandable premium. But I've never had like bad food.
I've never had bad food from a food truck.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're playing this week, because obviously you've been streaming on your channel.
Yep, I've been playing. Well, Fortnite Season 10 just came out, so I've played a little bit of that today and yesterday. Obviously GTA. I've been grinding that out, trying to get us to a spot where our whole group here can make a lot of money from it. What else? For Honor. That it went free on Epic, and I just decided to grab it, and I've been going crazy with it.
Yeah, I grabbed it too, but I haven't even fired it up
I
yet.
think you can do co-op with the story, like online co-op.
That would be pretty cool. We might,
like you, me, and Doc.
Yeah, we might have to see how that works.
It might actually help with one of the night missions that I was just dying trying to get done.
Oh, and then me and Sidious, a.k.a. Doc.
Yeah, you guys have been playing Forza.
Yeah, we've been playing Forza Horizon 4. I got it for Christmas. Our friend James bought it for me for the Ultimate Edition, which is, trust me, if you're even remotely think you're gonna truly play Forza Horizon, just buy the Ultimate Edition and get all the cars and stuff, because otherwise you'll be so frustrated. And
the wheel spins, they help a lot getting a lot of the cars, but I think with the Ultimate, there's a few cars that you just can't get anywhere else.
There are some that are specific to the packs. Well, and the other problem is that there's always going to be something that you're going to want at some point in that game. And if you buy the regular edition and you turn around and want those extra packs, it's going to cost you more money than if you buy those packs separately. You're going to spend more money. Like, I think even half those packs, I think you're going to spend more money than buying the Ultimate Edition. Now, Doc got lucky and they were having a sale, so the Ultimate Edition was $50. So, watch those sales whenever if you're interested in that game. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy it. We're him and I are car people.
I played it a little bit before you and him really got into it, but
my only frustrating thing
they're going about trying to beat all my records now.
The only frustrating thing for me as far as that game's concerned is that and it's not about the game, it's about the Game Pass. I have Game Pass, but I also own the game, and I can't like most of the like if you're on a console with my login, you can play all those games unless I'm logged in, and playing something.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because it's sort of like I know if
most of the time you and me want to play something together.
Right, I know it's one of those like technically you should be able to play the regular edition on Game Pass, and I should be able to play my full version, but because my login's tied to it, and I probably should have put the Ultimate Edition on your account.
Probably.
But I didn't it was kind of one of those things I wasn't really thinking about that at the time, but I should have put it on your account.
But now that we're actually finally getting to really play the game, it's like, oh, holy crap, wish I would have done this.
So at some point, the next sale that pops out, we may try to get you a copy of it.
Because, I mean, I like cars. I'm not a big car geek like you and him, but I'll mess around with them here and then.
Yeah, it's something we've always enjoyed, and get to obviously play around with cars that we would never even been lucky to see in real life, much less
sit in and drive.
Right. So we're gonna get hot and heavy into these topics again. Another warning: this one could be use the word that Cities hates is triggered. So
because it's misused a lot.
Yeah. But this is something that if you're sensitive to this, you may want to just skip this or just come back another episode. So just a fair warning before we get started in this. So we know that there were 2 shootings over the course of the last weekend, at least 2 big shootings. One was in Dayton, Ohio, and one was in El Paso, Texas. The one in El Paso, Texas, we do know and I guess there's one piece of this I should have said before we got started. We will not say these people's names. I kind of feel like this is one of the problems with these type of mass shootings is that
they do it just to get attention.
They do it for attention, and they do it to be famous, and that's why we will not use their names in any sort of fashion. I kind of have the Philip DeFranco. I appreciate his take on that, and I think we're going to continue with that. So there were two separate mass shootings. One in El Paso, we know was race related.
Yeah, the shootings were in the El Paso actually shopping center, the mall.
Yeah, it was at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas, and it's these things are horrible things, but people do horrible things to
innocent people.
And that's ultimately what it comes down to. Regardless of what you're feeling about guns, regardless of your feeling about anything else we're going to talk about, I don't care. I don't care if they got rid of all the guns in the United States, and I mean every single one. And not that it could happen, but if it did, there was a way, and they did. People would still find ways to hurt other people.
Yeah.
Whether it be knives. I mean, the thing is, you could, if you're smart enough, you can go into a Home Depot, and
MacGyver yourself something.
Yeah, you can. I mean, literally MacGyver stuff. I mean, there was parts of that show they.
I've seen something, and granted, you said that you've been wanting to take a step away from social media because of all this, but I saw something, and it was literally a picture of a prison shank. Even people in prison, evil enough, they will find a way to kill people.
They will absolutely find a way to kill people. We see it in countries that don't have guns or have very limited weapons. People still run. I mean, I can't remember the exact amount. I know it was quite a bit a few years ago when in France when that guy literally went up on the sidewalk and just steamrolled over people in a car. People will find a way, and that's. People need to quit blaming what is. I mean, that's the thing. Are we gonna ban all cars? Are we gonna ban knives? I mean, we use knives every day in our personal lives when we cook. I used a knife today when
making dinner for us.
Making dinner. I mean, that's the thing. There is nothing, almost nothing in our daily lives that we can't turn into a weapon if we
try hard enough.
Right. If we're in a mental state where we feel like we need to do that, and nothing's going to stop those people. The only thing that's going to hopefully, to bring into that is other people, taking care of other people in the community, making sure that people who are mentally ill, there should be. I hate to say it, there should be a list of people. I'm totally, I'm 100%
It's
all
getting
for
to that point.
where people who are actively like there should be should be a federal list of that kind of thing, and there should be things that should be restricted to those from those people.
I mean, there was how many mass shootings just 2018 alone? There was a bunch.
It was a bunch, and
A bunch were schools too.
some were schools, and and it's and as gun owners, and I am one of them. I have a weapon in the house. It is properly secured and locked. But I do have one in the house. My son has my children both understand that they don't touch it. They also understand how to properly operate it. They also understand how to properly safely operate it. You both were in scouts. That was part of your scout training, but we also did other things. And you've shot a variety of guns over the years. But it's one of those things. It's like, I have no problem with background checks. I have no problem registering my weapons. That stuff does not bother me one bit. I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment, but also I'm a firm believer that there are certain people who have no business having weapons of any sort. I hate the word assault weapon for many reasons. For me, that term is misused in my book. When I think of assault weapon, I think of a fully automatic M16 machine gun. I think of real military weapons. An AK-47 is 80% of a military weapon, but it is not a military weapon. And there are other weapons like that take the same ammunition as an AR-15, and that's the one that a lot of them want to go after because they use it. But in the same boat, it's we in Chicago, handguns are illegal in Chicago, and how many shootings every day happen in Chicago?
Yeah,
nobody cares. I mean, that's ultimately what it is. Ultimately, it's the thing that's going to solve this is people who are mentally ill need help, and they need help regardless of their age, demographic, economic. I mean, it needs to be something that is available regardless. You shouldn't, I would gladly pay more taxes for that kind of thing.
To make sure that something like this never happens again.
Right. And the other part of it, and I think this is the biggest problem we have in America today, is the fact that we are not a community anymore. It's amazing that every time one of these just tragic things happen, that people come together. When there's a tornado that blows through a town, I mean, they said in El Paso they literally were turning people away who were doing blood donations. I mean, they literally couldn't take them. They couldn't handle it. And one place I think said that they were getting personal donations, like it was one of those places that does food and toilet paper and basic necessities, and they finally had to start turning people away because they couldn't take it. That shouldn't these type of things shouldn't create that situation. We should always be doing that. We should always be trying to help our community. We should always try to help our neighbors and try to be better people. And I think that's the biggest thing that we in the let's say 50, 60 years is we've lost that community. We've lost that. It's all about anymore. It's about me. That's all anybody cares about. They don't.
It's their greed and
it's
selfishness. I mean, I've seen stuff, and again, I'm going to go back to social media here. I've seen stuff where someone has literally said 2 mass shootings, 48 hours, 1 torn nation, because this nation is literally torn apart about the reasonings behind it and about why it happened and what we should be doing about it. And no one's coming. No one, those small communities that are coming together, they're wanting to help each other after it. But it's just
we should be doing that every single day.
The country and the nation en masse doesn't look at it like that.
No, and unfortunately, whether it's political, whether it's personal, people are just using this for an agenda. And to me, when you have an agenda, you lose the meaning. It should be it's one of those things you need to be, people need to be better. We all need to be better. We need to be vigilant. And, right now, the one in Dayton, Ohio, we haven't heard, I haven't looked today, obviously, because
I haven't heard anything about an MO about that one.
Pretty sure because his sister was one of the ones that were shot that this one was more motivated. This may have been a domestic dispute one. So this may be a little different. Now, with all that said, with all that portion of our kind of thing, here's the part that involves video games, and this is what I wanted to get through, that our kind of thoughts and what how we feel about those things.
It's just a tragedy that's how everything happens, and that's why.
But we don't. We both have the belief that video games don't do this.
Oh,
guns are not the problem. People are the problem.
And I wish we would have Sidious or Doc in here right now, because he actually talks about this very well.
I do,
nothing about firearms have changed in 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. Really, there's
30 years ago, there was barely any mass shootings. 30 years later, today.
Yeah,
just this past weekend.
It has changed, and what has changed is not the gun. What has changed is the people. So, and then, like I said, that's kind of our feelings, but here's where we get into the video game portion of it. So, the president, and I'm not even going to use his name just because I don't want to start, a headache, but just the president, and he's not the first. He's not the first to throw this. He won't be the last. President and other lawmakers are attacking video games as which is it's just ridiculous. For one, there's absolutely no correlation between these two shootings and video games. Never has been.
There has been many studies that have shown the facts that millions of, and I'm going to say this, millions of people around the world play video games, violent video games at that. And like you and me love video games. We play a lot of violent video games too.
Yeah, we play.
I haven't committed any, I haven't killed anyone. I haven't did a mass shooting. You haven't killed anyone. No. You haven't made a mass shooting. Same with millions of other people. And it's just those tiny specks that, oh yeah, these people love violent video games. That's where they're going at.
Well, but the bad part of in this very particular case, there's no correlation between video games and these two shootings. None.
Definitely none.
None, absolutely whatsoever. And this is one of those things that this is where the conversation about agenda, and part of this agenda, unfortunately, is the diversion of, we don't want to talk about guns. We don't want to talk about guns because the gun industry does spend a lot of money on the political side of it. I understand it. I don't necessarily like it either way, but it is what it is. At this point, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. But yeah, you're right. Studies have shown many times over that, that the mental health of an individual is the cause. The trigger is ultimately, can be
what
million
pushes
things.
them over the edge.
Right.
And I don't want to take it into, like you said earlier, people need to watch for each other. They need to help each other. So this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Sometimes people do this because they feel like no one cares for them. And so, heck, I think the one in Dayton ended with the guy literally shooting himself in the head or killing himself. There's been many that have ended with suicide because they feel like no one cares for them and no one is there for them. Or
in the end, they think that, they're going to glorify their way out. And that's, and unfortunately the media, like I said, the media just goes with it. Everyone wants to talk about violence in video games. They've been showing video from these shootings. I mean,
that's more violent than some of the video games out there today.
Yeah, I mean, they are just as much a proponent as well as the political rhetoric that gets thrown around and pushed, and it stirs up it stirs up people in just the worst worst ways and brings out the worst in people. And Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeted it kind of as a response to these shootings, and I highly regard Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's probably what I feel is one of the most down to earth people on the planet. And if we had more of probably him, it would be a better place.
Definitely.
But he posted, and he's gotten a lot of hate for this. Said in the past 48 hours, the U.S.
horrifically.
I can't ever say that word. Lost 34 people in mass shootings. On average, across 48 hours, we lose 500 to medical errors, 300 to the flu, 250 to suicide, 200 to car accidents, and 40 to homicide via a handgun. And part of what I feel, and he ended up reiterating in a further statement, and I'll read that statement. His point is that this is such a small percentage of things that are preventable, that things that are, one of those things people, these are things that
shouldn't happen but do.
Right. And does it suck? Absolutely, it sucks. Do I feel horrible for the people that lose their lives? But I also feel horrible for the people who lose their lives because a doctor made a mistake, because they didn't go to their doctor or whatever to get medicine for the flu. They waited too long. I feel bad for the mentally healthy people, the mentally ill people that commit suicide. We see it with, right now, I think was it recently the NYPD, they had 10 deaths in a week or something. It was something ridiculous. I don't remember the exact number, so bear with me on that. But I remember hearing a news thing talking about how NYPD officers are committing suicide left and right, and just ridiculous numbers for what they are. And I think that's, and his ending to that was, often our emotions respond more to spectacle than data, and he's right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and well, actually, this kind of fits in sort of our next topic, but people just move from one thing to another as they happen. We never think about.
It comes and goes in phases.
We never. A lot of people do not sit and think about the reality of things and the real statistics of things, and to truly understand why these things happen. Most car accidents, absolutely preventable. You've seen it. I've seen it. I can't count the number of times I've almost been hit because somebody ran a red light, or because somebody didn't stop when they should have, or turned when they shouldn't have.
And God forbid it's a drunk driver.
Yeah, drunk driver, high driver. Unfortunately, even here in Ohio, even though it's technically still not legal, they've done miracle marijuana. Almost not a day goes by that I'm not driving around my neighborhood and I'm not smelling it from the car in front of me.
Yeah.
And we're it's just notification. And that's the thing. And then the next thing we get, what we're going to talk about is kind of the hate portion of this, which is the people who, and I've always used this. I've come to use this term, and it kind of fits. Professionally offended people. These people who have no skin in the game, that have never had these things, and they just feel like, oh, well, that's so offensive. Well, if it doesn't affect you, it's not offensive.
If it's not,
you can't
be.
You can't
pointed at you. If it's not,
something
going towards you.
If it's not something you have personally experienced, you've got no say in that respect. I feel for the people that have lost family members, that have lost children. That was, I heard about the story about the couple who shielded their child during the shooting in El Paso, and as a parent, that's I trust me, there is nothing that pulls at my heartstrings more. But I have to think about when that happens. I have to start thinking critically. I have to think about what happened and why it happened, not with what it happened with. I mean, that's ultimately the thing we got to think about because, like we said at the beginning, people will find a way.
Yeah, and I hate to have to go to this, but it's often my response when a lot of this stuff happens. A gun does not pull its own trigger.
No. Neither does
a knife does not stab someone by itself. There's always a person behind that, a person's mind behind that. And I hate to say it. I see all these things on social media. It's, oh, a gun pulled the trigger. The gun killed someone. Well, I guess that means my pencil failed my test for me.
Exactly. That's a good as far as the two are from each other. That's absolutely good analogy.
That's opposite sides of the spectrum, but they mean the same thing.
People have to be responsible.
It's the person behind it. It's the mind behind it.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable. It really is. It's unacceptable.
And ultimately, we as a people are the ones that are responsible
for not seeing it sooner.
Yeah, we are, and I think that's the biggest problem with today's society. We do not take responsibility for our own actions, and I think that's
a lot of people just don't care,
or people don't. Oh, he was mentally ill. It was the gun's fault. Blame it on the gun. Blame it on the car. The drunk driver goes out and kills somebody. Blame it on the alcohol. We don't hear that.
No.
They blame it on the drunk driver. It was his choice to drink excessively and to drive.
No, you don't buckle up while driving. That's your choice.
That's your fault. You die in a car accident and you're not wearing your seatbelt. That's on you. Personal responsibility. That's a huge thing. And I've tried to instill that in you and your sister. I hope it's something that as you grow into further into an adult, you begin to understand the ramifications of personal responsibility. And with the things that have happened, especially with you in the past few years, you've had to learn that the hard way. I won't get into why, but I'll just say that you've learned that one.
I know.
You've learned that one the hard way. But I've also learned that the expensive way.
But I mean, you look at stuff like this. It's just like I said. It's unacceptable. People need to stop caring about themselves. Stop looking at only their lives, but look at everyone else's lives.
Yeah, everyone. You
not in a nosy way, but in the caring, wanting to be there for someone way. We need more compassion in this world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Passion and compassion. We need more of that. We don't need political people going, no, it's the video games. No, it's the guns. It's none of it.
It's us. It is ultimately an inner reflection of yourself. All right. I think we've done enough on that topic. That's probably going to be the longest topic we've... Oh, my God. Well, no.
No, because how long did you have this running for before we did this?
I was just thinking that... actually,
I want to say about 40, 30 minutes.
I think we're almost an hour into that.
No? I don't think so.
Pretty close. Anyway.
So we were at like an hour and 7...
So
we did.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll move on to the next topic. Oblitz, developer goes Epic Store exclusive and gets a huge hate for it. Part of this hate I kind of understand, but I also this kind of falls into the same respect of personal responsibility of the people that are responding, and you shouldn't, regardless of what their decisions are, you shouldn't be threatening. You shouldn't be like they've been getting threats, and they've been like, people are just saying really nasty things. If you don't like it, just say, I don't like it, I'm not buying your product. That's all you need to do. That is what I've done with Borderlands. And my problem with Borderlands isn't the fact that it's an Epic exclusive necessarily.
For 6 months.
Yeah, I'll buy it in 6 months, but I'm going to buy it on Steam.
Yeah, it goes live in September. We'll buy it in March.
Yeah, we're going to buy it in March. I'll buy several copies in March when the game comes out on Steam.
You, me, and Sidious.
Why? Because A, I like the developer. B, I love the game. And C, the only reason that I don't get it on Epic, and partly because I don't need to, because frankly, it's just, I got plenty of stuff to play. So it's not like I have to buy it day one. But the other part of it for me is, I want it all on the same platform.
I would love to have it with where all my other Borderlands
with
games are.
I have like what there's been
So I don't have
5 or 6 Borderlands games that I all own on Steam.
Yeah, and so that we don't have to add more people on our Epic stuff for when we do play Epic games.
Yeah, I mean,
we go over to Steam. We already have our friends on there
that
we want to play with, that we've played those games with for months and years, and we don't want to do it on Epic.
I am not against Epic. I think competition is a good thing for the most part.
Competition drives business.
But I mean, the thing is I'm not crazy about the Epic Store. I don't like. It's not the best in the world. Steam is not perfect, but it is better. I
think Steam has gotten a little better since Epic has kind of started kicking its.
They're starting to look at different things, and I think that I think ultimately Steam's going to be better for it. Like I said, I'm not against people from these companies. I kind of understand it's a business model. They have to make money. Obviously, Epic is not only throwing money at them, but they're also, getting higher cuts of their revenue, and I totally understand that. And if it's a game I absolutely want to play and it's only going to be on Epic, I'll buy it on Epic.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite platform, but if I have to, I will. I don't understand the hate. I really don't. And this developer is getting a ton of hate now.
I mean, the developer is only 2-person team.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, it's a 2-person development team.
So
it's like a husband and wife. I think it is
a 2-person team. They don't bring in a lot of money themselves. So going to a place where they can make a lot more money, get a bigger cut of it for people to actually buy and get the game, I would definitely do that. If you and me made a game and Epic offered that deal, here, fine, take it. Sidious. Except for EA, Origin, all the hate for them. Okay, yeah. EA can go bite it.
Yeah, EA is a situation where I don't like the developer. That's my problem with EA because they're horrible people.
They touch a game somehow, either the series dies, they kill off the main character. Don't even get me started on Mass Effect.
It's so aggravating with EA,
but still, you and me make a game. Would we go to Steam where we get less money or Epic? I would go Epic. Well, they give us more money for it. They give us a good deal. Fine, here.
Well, and the thing is that one of the developers straight up said Epic matched what they were wanting to earn if they were selling across all the platform stores. So they were guaranteeing a minimum amount of money. Why? Especially an indie developer, it would be nuts to not take that deal.
Yeah, I mean, indie games are also blowing up, and they're becoming. The people that make them are becoming bigger companies.
Yeah. Now, here's where I think they messed up. When they made the announcement, he did a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, as it says in the article. He did a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing announcing that they were going Epic and why they were going at Epic, and it rubbed the community the wrong way. Partly because he used the word and I'll use this quote, feeling like you've owned a product or other people's work on your terms or else you'll steal it, is the epitome of the word entitlement that people use to discuss immature, toxic gamers. That pretty much set the whole fandom, like people that didn't even know or have ever heard of this game instantly turned evil towards them. And but in the earlier part of his original thing was, game consoles pay for exclusive rights to games, which most of the time is them buying buying the developer. So they own.
Which, don't get me wrong, that's a crap ton of money,
right?
But they earn that money.
And he talks about Netflix paying for exclusive shows and things like that, and it is. It like I said, I totally understand why they did it. Like, I have no personal hate, and like I said, I just like when it deals with Borderlands, I will buy it when it comes to Steam. If it was only available on Epic, I would buy it on Epic.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't hate. Now the one time and like I said, truly hateful comments I will never condone. I do understand the people who were pissed off about the one game that was supposed to come to Steam. It was a Kickstarter game and all that stuff, and it was supposed to come to Steam.
And then last minute.
And the last minute, they turned around and changed it to Epic.
But they still gave everyone who pre-ordered on Steam their game. They still did.
Right.
They went, okay, you guys did buy it here. You guys wanted it here. We're still going to give you it.
Yeah.
They owned up to it.
Yeah, they at least... But they didn't do that on the onset, and I think that was the problem. They should have done that from the get-go. And then,
yeah, no, it took them a little bit, but they still finally, in the end...
And that's why that whole thing...
But
this whole mob mentality, and this is the same problem we have with the previous conversation. This mob mentality that goes from one thing to the next. These people who are professionally offended, and that whenever this will die down, it'll be whoever the next person that goes to Epic gets yelled at. You know, you want to call it trolls, you want to call it whatever. You know, these people just they're unfortunately this is again the people that don't take responsibility for who they are and what they say. People are allowed to make mistakes. I totally understand people making mistakes, even with what you say, but you need to own up to it. You know, I talk about Philip DeFranco a lot. That's one of my things that I appreciate about Philip DeFranco also a lot. When he does screw up, he says, I screwed up. He says, here's what I screwed up and why I screwed it up. He takes responsibility for his actions. And, you know, that's a huge thing in the world. Nobody does that anymore, and and more people should. It would be a better place. All right, let's talk about our next favorite hate topic.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
I know.
Organizing stuff with Nash for tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna
apparently he needs to go somewhere real quick, do something there, and then he's gonna book it over here.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up these next couple of topics pretty quick because we're going to the movies tonight. We're gonna go see Hobbs and Shaw. So
it just came out Friday?
Within the last week or so.
Yeah, it came out within the last week.
So we're gonna.
Have you been seeing the? Okay, sorry to drive off topic. Have you been seeing the brisk can of whoop?
For anybody that's listening to this conversation, I'm giving
you won't let me say the last word.
Well, absolutely not. You're not going to say the last word, but I still don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
And yes, I'm going to fully type it out.
And that's not how you say it.
No, that's what they call it. Have you seriously not seen this?
Brisk. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. Let's put that in next. We'll put that in next week's topic to go along with the movie.
No, you can see the can right there. I'm serious.
We'll talk about that in the next episode. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you brought in a topic that is totally...
It was on the topic of Hobbs and Shaw. You got me thinking.
Okay. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, a little bit of lightheartedness in the middle of all the darkness here.
My
okay.
God. So, a lot of people discussing the end of GameStop and
yeah, sadly it's getting ever closer.
Yeah, it's certainly getting closer.
We saw it with Blockbuster and what? We saw it with Blockbusters. I don't think anyone ever remembers them anymore.
You wouldn't because you were a child when they...
No, I remember Blockbuster. I remember that.
Probably remember Blockbuster in the mail. That was before that. Yeah, it's before Netflix.
Well, no, I remember actually going to the Blockbuster store because remember we went there a few times. But
yeah, I'm surprised you remember that.
It's the same thing with Blockbuster. You know, they're being outdone by digital. Blockbuster outdone by Netflix. GameStop's being outdone by digital gaming.
Well, and ultimately, the part of the problem, and this is the same problem that GameStop has, is that they've not changed with the times. They've not adapted into every time that they have tried to throw a new line to try to develop a new product, if you will, or a new thing for their stores. It's always been something really stupid. Like they tried the cell phone thing, and that was not. Like, it didn't even remotely match each other. They ultimately lost money and they sold it off. But GameStop here in the last week laid off more than 50 employees, which included sales, HR, and loss prevention, which I think loss prevention is probably a big no-no. I kind of understand the sales thing because I think I have a lot of love and hate for GameStop. I love for what GameStop used to be. I hate for what GameStop has turned into. And a lot of that,
Excuse me.
Um,
Just trying not to belch that out on camera.
yeah. So, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that as a publicly traded company, they got into the horrible capitalist model of profit, and they forgot that customer service is more important. You don't have customers, you don't have profit, and that's what has happened in their business. I got to the point where I used to get games from them all the time. I used to pre-order games all the time. I was probably 3 to 4 games a year I would buy from GameStop because of.
Yeah, I think the last major one that you pre-ordered from GameStop was Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah, that's been a while.
And that was 2015.
Yeah, that's been a while.
I think that was, if I remember correctly, that was the last big one.
That's the last one I could recall
because the Fallouts have been PC.
Yeah,
and you haven't really. I mean,
most everything.
Really bought much
most everything. I think there was one Christmas we did spend like $300 in GameStop.
I think that was.
But they were having like
a
super sale.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I think that was for me in City.
It was like a Black Friday type of deal. That was the only reason we shopped there because of the deals.
Actually, yeah, it was just past Christmas.
And part of the problem is that the customer service model that this company has taken on, where like when you trade in a game, let's say you got a brand new game, you beat it in 10 days, you trade it in. Okay, $60 game, you get maybe $20, and they resell it for $5 less than the original price.
Yeah.
If they were turning around and selling it for $39.99, I can understand the $20 price. But at $54.99,
why didn't they get a little extra money?
Yeah, their
you guys
profitability.
Are still going to make. You made profit off of what I did, what I bought it for,
right?
And you're going to make more profit off of what you sold it. Well, I sold it to you back for, and what someone else is going to buy it for.
Right.
You're making a crap ton more profit. So that little extra, you can give that little extra money.
And that's a thing. But there's been some real. It's been notated over the years, the kind of shady backdoor stuff that they've done. When they bought out like EB Games, and there were a couple other companies, which we all knew that they were going to fold them in. They were going to there for a while. I remember. And I think Sidious will probably remember this too. There was a time when they bought EB Games. There was another company they bought too that was, you could literally go, like, there were GameStops across the street from each other. You remember that? Over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Eastland Mall.
Eastland Mall, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one.
And the people wondering why he just said Eastland. There's two big malls. Well, there used to be two big malls in by where we live. One would be called the Eastland Mall, and then we have the Easton Mall, and we always had to differentiate.
Yeah, it's if you say it the wrong way, people will not realize you're talking one versus the other,
and they'll go to the wrong one.
That has happened before,
especially with this family. Don't get us started.
Yeah, there was one in the mall, and there was one literally across the street from each other,
right next to a Papa John's, if I do remember correctly.
That's no longer there anymore. Actually, the
Papa John's gone.
No, it moved to the other side.
Are you?
It's across the street. You know where the AT&T store is?
Yep.
So it's next to the AT&T store.
Oh, that's too funny.
They
literally just moved right across the street.
I don't know. I have no idea why.
There's some people who still go to Eastland Mall. That's why. And so it's right there.
But the Burger King is gone.
Burger King is gone. Yeah, I do recall.
Yeah, they shut that Burger King down, and they shut the
Chinese place right next door.
The Chinese place is gone, and the Steak and Shake is gone.
Oh.
They shut that down.
That Steak and Shake wasn't too good anyway. There's a few better ones around here.
Not anymore.
Don't tell me they've all gone to crap.
Apparently, they shut a bunch of them down.
Son of a.
Yeah.
Okay, Steak and Shake was one of my favorite burger joints.
Yeah, he's a burger and hot dog kind of kid. And
Five Guys and Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
If I wanted a milkshake and a burger, I wanted Steak and Shake.
Yeah, it's. I will admit,
Granted, that
kind of
craving doesn't happen much anymore, but I would still go there.
Yeah, we were.
They have some really good burgers.
Well, I was always a milkshake, but they had good burgers. Don't
Oh yeah, they had some really good burgers.
But yeah, like I said, they've all shut down. But anyway,
dang it,
different topic, different day. But yeah,
this is all just a bunch of disappointments.
Yeah. So as of today, they're only trading at $3.81 a share. And their stock has pretty much plummeted since the announcement that they would end their quarterly stock dividends. So, and they've been trying to find a buyer for a while to try to get somebody to. Frankly, I think, and I know it's going to sound weird.
If someone can buy GameStop and just turn it,
I think Best Buy needs to buy it and turn that into like a sub thing and
like their gaming division.
Right.
You know, that would probably be the best way for GameStop to go out. I can see that.
Well, you know, the thing is that I think GameStop did make one good decision when they started getting into the collectible stuff, which is recently they've shut down. They had shut down their sub. They've always had stuff in the stores, but they had a different. They had bought another company.
They actually started doing a lot more like the Funko.
Oh my god,
stuff.
what was the name of that site?
Which one?
Geek something.
ThinkGeek.
ThinkGeek. Yeah, they had bought ThinkGeek, and it incorporated a lot of their products into the store. And honestly, if I go to GameStop anymore, that's what I go for. I go for the pop vinyls and stuff like that.
The collectibles. That's really what you really go to GameStop for anymore.
And the thing is, though, there are so many models. You know, there are actually more and more pop-up stores that run kind of the old GameStop model. I mean, you look at Pink Gorilla Games. It's Kinsey, if you're from the Metal Jesus.
That's why I don't recognize it.
Metal Jesus Rocks crew. She. I'll have to pull up a video. You don't realize how short she is. Like, have you ever seen her in metal? She stands on a crate in his videos because he's like 6'4".
And so they have to keep the camera
she's
where...
she's so short. She has to stand.
She's probably like 4'9" then.
Oh my god, she's maybe 5 foot tall, maybe.
Why did I say 4'9"? 4'11". That's what I meant to say.
Well,
crap. Well, I know someone who's 4'9".
But yeah, she's so short, and I love her to death. She's absolutely blast to watch on videos and stuff. But she owns what's known as Pink Gorilla, and she's got 2 or 3 stores, and it's a lot of Japanese video game stuff. But she also does retro gaming and just very, like I said, she has a similar somewhat GameStop model in a certain way where stuff can be traded in for game credit and all that in store. But she's made a business out of it. Her and her husband, that's what they do. There's a model for that. Now it's more of a model for like classic games and retro games anymore because of the fact that more and more stuff is digital.
Games is digital.
Yeah, a lot of it's becoming digital. I still try to get hard games when I can. PC stuff I do exclusively digitally anymore. It's almost next to impossible to find
but console
games,
game. It's like, okay, you want the hard game.
The biggest
like I have this.
The biggest problem with the console for me, as far as the digital concern, is hard drive space.
Oh yeah,
there's never enough hard drive space on.
And then it's like you choose what you want.
I mean, I have an Xbox One S with a 1 terabyte drive, and it's still got a 3 terabyte drive attached to it because I don't have enough space. But
give it a year or two, that won't be enough space.
I think I'm at 60 or 70% between the two.
Okay, give it half. Yeah, give it 6 months.
About 6 more months, and I'll probably be
give it 6 months.
So, all right, ESA, which is the company that operates the E3 conference, incidentally leaked personal contact information of news reviewers and content creators. Apparently, there was a spreadsheet available on the website. Sophia Narwitz was apparently the one that initially publicized a YouTube video showing and discussing the fact that this thing existed.
Which it shouldn't have.
Yeah. Apparently this was like a link on their page available. That's how, like, there wasn't like you have to log in or anything like that. No, it was a link in a sub page on their website. And we're talking addresses, personal phone numbers.
How stupid can
email.
people? Okay, again, how stupid can people be?
Well, and here's the thing. Boogie2988 was talking about this because he's he goes to E3. He actually does it for YouTube. But you always have to give your personal information, obviously, for your credentials to get in. But he even said, he's like, I use my post office box, which anybody already knows. He has a phone number that he changes regularly that he used for it, and an email address that he uses for specifically that type of stuff. So there's nothing that for, like in his case, that would necessarily not either already be available or that he is at least attempted to protect his private data in that respect. But obviously, there's a lot of people that are small that have never had these situations before, or they're a part of big media things. And like I said, it's really strange that this stuff was that it popped up, that was made available publicly. And the worst part is that apparently after the link was removed, it was still available. If people knew what the link was or could pull it up via the cached website, it was still available online. And it wasn't until after the second time that they were contacted, they finally deleted the file from the website. In their announcement, they said the ESA has been made aware of a website vulnerability that led to the contact list of registered journalists attending E3 to be made public. And we're talking like over 2,000 people was on this list. Now, Boogie made comment to the effect, apparently this had been known for a while and had been muddled around in a couple of forums, but the people in that forums were trying very good to prevent that information leaking out to the public so that they wouldn't take the file down, which was kind of weird, but I don't know. I don't understand the whole gist of that, but I don't know.
Wait, they wanted people not to take?
They wanted it not to become public knowledge so that information would stay up and available. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nash just got here.
Yeah. Quit messaging your friends.
He just said, don't recommend riding with a monster in the back pocket.
No, probably not.
He does some like stupid crap, and
he's the hold my beer type of kid. Like,
well,
when he does become old enough to drink, I'm gonna have to quit hanging out with him. That's pretty much how it's gonna
be. You haven't hung out around him long enough, then.
I know, but he knows not to do.
There has been some hold my beer.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those hold my beer kind of kids.
Oh, it's funny to see what happens in school.
Anyway. So, Tyler, Ninja Blevins.
I actually have some opinions on this one.
Yeah, a famous Fortnite player. Recently was in the tournament.
Pro-Am.
Yep,
He did not qualify for the World Championships.
I wonder if he did that on purpose. I wonder, because hasn't he won that or something?
Him and Marshmallow won the Pro-Ams last year. He did not win World Championships last year.
Not necessarily last year, but he's won that before, I think.
No, last year was only Pro-Am.
Really? Oh,
yeah, this year was the first annual.
So he made this big video, and the video basically comes out him coming out almost like a boxer.
It's basically a press release thing.
Yeah, it's like a press release thing, but it was in that like TV movie style of he came out, was up to
at a podium
and a microphone, he was going to announce
like a red.
Like he would announce he was going to face Monopoly. Nash, cut it out.
I texted Faith, which is my sister, if anyone.
So he officially announced that he was leaving Twitch, and he would be officially the exclusively
Mixer, who paid him to come.
Right, they're paying him to come over to their platform, and I heard he's got over 600,000.
He still has that
already.
Red Bull sponsorship. I'm going to strangle this kid.
I'm sure. Just ignore it.
I'm trying, but the vibrations.
Then put the phone somewhere other than between your legs.
It's under my stomach.
I know. I'm just
that work?
Yeah, just throw it on the floor.
No, I meant.
I don't care. I
and
didn't
then
pay
it
money for that.
Flipped. Well,
Anyway,
if it cracks from that, it has taken longer drops.
that's why. Anyway, so yeah, apparently he's got over. Last I heard, he's got over 600,000 subs already on Mixer.
Oh yeah, people still
and
want to watch him.
And that was like in the first like 24 or 48 hours. So he's definitely moving.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. He was at. Oh my god! It was some like stupid festival, something.
Lollapalooza.
Yeah, he was at that streaming for Fortnite. But
so here's the funny thing. So Twitch did a statement to The Verge, and the quote was, "We loved watching Ninja on Twitch over the years and are proud of all he's accomplished for himself and his family and the gaming community. We wish him best of luck in his future endeavors." And in the article, they know surprisingly quick, Twitch took away his Ninja partner check mark.
well, yeah, he kind of told him, "Screw you." They're telling him that back. So if he ever wants to come back, he has to earn it again.
But the thing is, he had technically already earned his ability to because that's their version of being able to be completely monetized. Your Twitch channel, which you've not reached yet.
No, I have not reached that yet because I don't have the 75, people watching constantly.
Right, you have to have quite a bit.
I have 1.9.
Yeah.
Sadly.
But yeah, I mean
they're okay. Will it make better for people on Mixer? Definitely. He's bringing a lot of people over there that probably won't just watch his stuff. They'll watch other people because Mixer is a small community. Twitch, lots of competition. But also, it's bad for Twitch because it's all, like I said, it's taking those people away.
It'd be like,
but
that
who's
also
going
be
to
like
take his spot?
It'd be like PewDiePie leaving YouTube.
Oh God, if he leaves, YouTube's going to crash. He's the king of YouTube.
He is the king of YouTube.
I mean, granted, okay, Ninja left Twitch. Tfue, if he leaves Twitch, and he's another big Fortnite player, if a lot of the biggest players on YouTube or Twitch leave, Twitch is done for.
Well, I mean, they're gonna hurt. They're
hurting from this already.
They're gonna hurt from Ninja leaving anyway, because I mean that's a lot of viewership. That's a lot of people's money that they paid.
He was the first to actually reach over 1 million followers on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean he exploded a few years ago on the Twitch.
Well, once Fortnite came out and he got so good at it, people just started watching him.
Yeah,
they stopped playing Fortnite just to watch him.
Yeah, and the thing is,
I watched like part of one stream, and I just couldn't deal with how toxic some of the people were. And
yeah, I haven't played with Mixer since the very early days, so I don't know if this thing
it's gotten a little better.
If it's gotten better or not. Maybe I might have to just.
I know someone personally who streams on Mixer.
Yeah, I might have to just check it out to see what it is, and maybe we'll stream or restream on some of those at some point. Maybe that's what I'll do. My Sci-Fi-ness podcast.
You do it on Mixer, see how it goes
yeah,
there.
We'll do it live on Mixer instead of Twitch.
We are not officially moving. We have no clue what we're doing.
Yeah. He'll be on Twitch regardless.
Oh yeah. If I ever decide to move to Mixer, it's because I will actually think I could do better.
Yeah. By the way, look up the Sci-Fi-ness, and it is spelled sci-fi-ness on most major podcast services. The first episode that me and Sidious did together is live, and unfortunately he speaks better than I do. I say so many times.
Well, he actually thinks through what he's going to say most of the time.
I don't know why. And I don't do it as much. I've listened to this podcast and I listened to that one.
You don't do it a lot over here.
I don't do it as much
because when you're thinking, I'm talking.
Yeah, it's so strange.
You talk in like a natural state.
I did it so much in that first episode.
Well, because you were nervous because it was your first episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Look back to the very first episode of this. It would be cringeworthy, But look back to the very first. That's probably something that we're gonna have to do. Reacting, seeing how far we came.
Let's wait till we get to the 50 episode, and then we'll talk about.
See how far we came, and going. Yeah, we're a lot better since then.
Yeah, things have definitely gotten a lot better. But yeah, that's pretty much the topics this week. And like I said, I apologize about the whole political stuff and what we talked about at the first part of it. But we felt it was important. We felt also it was important to talk about it in the sense of in gaming and the life in the universe and everything. That's why we say what we do at the beginning of the show. Because mostly we do talk gaming. We do talk some tech.
And sometimes when it's stuff like this, we have to talk about life.
Yeah. And then we'll get into other personal stuff from time to time. So,
like our vacations or what we're actually doing in real life.
Absolutely.
Like today, we're going to go see the movie. So we have no problem saying we're going to go see this, And really, if anyone ever sees me out and about, and if I ever get that big, anyone ever sees me out and about, just say hi. Really, I don't mind going. Oh, hey, you watch me, you follow me. Great. Hi. Thank you for being there, because without anyone actually watching or listening, none of this would be possible.
Yeah. And we'll continue to keep building this podcast, and we'll have topics. There's always something to talk about.
Oh, there's always something.
So
if we can't find something, we'll bullcrap it.
Yeah, we'll BS it for an episode.
We've done that.
We've done that before.
we straight up done that.
We've literally had no topics and literally went through like some
because
website.
There was like a few weeks was just straight up dry. And we didn't do a one for a week because there was nothing to talk about.
There was literally nothing to talk about.
And next week there still wasn't nothing to talk about, but we could not leave anyone hanging.
Yeah,
so we just bull crapped and.
But
we actually found some stuff to talk about though.
But the thing is, we're doing this for fun. We're not doing this for money.
We're not doing this for professionalism. This is just straight up fun for us. Yeah, this is a hobby.
Yeah, this is just something
kind of
fun.
With my streaming. I'm not trying to become professional with it. Would I like to? Yes. Is it a hobby right now? Yes.
Just
enjoy. I have a lot of stuff else going on. So
yeah, we're
it's
just
a hobby.
We're just here to enjoy it and talk and get our feelings out, and it's kind of almost therapeutic in a certain way.
Yeah, they always say a few words can change some things. Stuff like what we talked about today with the mass shootings. Sometimes those opinions can change how things work.
Yeah, and it's
one voice can make a change.
Yeah, but the thing is it needs to be a calm voice, and that's a huge thing in my book.
Yelling can't get it through.
Yeah,
you yell at someone, they block you out.
They're not good at that point.
Like everyone always says, haters are going to hate. Don't listen to the haters. They'll just make you better. They'll drive you. They'll either make you better than make you worse. But those critically important people to you that give you the good advice and actually mean it will drive you way further than the haters.
All right, that's where we're going to end the podcast for this week. You can catch us typically on Mondays between 8 and 9 p.m. Now, this episode was off today. We had some stuff going on yesterday, so we decided.
You just didn't feel well.
Well, that too. But I'd been up all day.
Yeah. It was understandable.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. So, yep, you normally catch us on Mondays live on twitch.tv/SpiderArray 713. Like I said, usually between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then you can find us on most major podcast services: Anchor, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, just to name a few. Feel free to join.
He says.
Yeah, just a few. Feel free to join the discussion in chat or on most of these major podcast services. They usually have a way to review us.
And definitely, if you guys want to discuss this in my Discord server, it's down in the panels below.
Yep.
If you're on Twitch or if you're listening, go to the Twitch channel that we just said, Spidercast 713. Go down to the panel. You'll see the Discord logo. Hit that, and you can join the discussion there. Anyway, guys, we're going to end this right here. It's been nice talking, but we have to go. See you guys later. Peace.
Yep. Later.